Hey everybody, Graeme McInnis here with McInnis Realty Group, and this video is my market update for what happened in the Calgary real estate market in February of 2023. And we'll also be taking a look at the news headlines and how they've recently changed, and they're a lot more positive about the real estate market and specifically Calgary, which is great. So let's dive in. So Calgary housing statistics, February 2023. Seeing a lot of green in the right spots and a lot of red in the right spots, if you can think of it that way as well. Basically, if you're looking at the prices here, year over year, so February 23 over February 2022, the prices are up 1.5%. That's not too exciting, obviously, but the prices have gone up more than that in 2022. That's just looking at February over Feb. So what happened, as you probably know, in 2022 is the prices went up, and then overall, in certain price categories, the prices went down, which pulled the average down, even though in different price categories and different types of product of homes, the prices still went up, or at least remained flat for the second half of 2022. Sales are down by significant amounts, 47% year over year. But again, February of last year was insane. It was a record-breaking year. So it's no surprise that the sales numbers are down this year when compared to last year. But when you compare them to the 10-year average, they're actually right in line where they historically are at this time of year, more or less. Days on market is up compared to this time last year. New listings are down. So sales are down, new listings are down. No big surprise there, right? Both down by roughly the same number, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, there would be more sales if there were more listings. One of the biggest problems that I'm having with my own clients right now is we're having a difficult time finding something to buy. And the properties that we do find to buy, often we're getting in multiple offers because other buyers think they're a great property too. Other buyers know that, this one is the one. Everything else we've looked at is kind of not so good, and we need to make an offer on this one. So when those good properties do come on the market, as I've been saying for months and even a year, really, they're selling really fast. So, you've got to have a sharp realtor to help you find the right property and then secure that property with a strong offer. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay over the list price. Let's take a look at what's happening in the market according to the news and see how the tone of the headlines has changed to be quite a bit more positive recently, which is good. Low inventory, steady demand are setting up for a busy spring season. Calgary real estate market witnesses really low inventory and rising prices. So again, these are the headlines that we're seeing out there in the news. Here's another one. Low supply, falling sales in nearby communities push up home prices. So this is talking about the communities around Calgary, like Airdrie and Okotoks and Cochrane, which are having just as difficult a time with the low supply, the low inventory, as we're having in Calgary. In those outlying communities, there's really not that much for sale, but the demand is still there. Like I said, the sales have gone down compared to last year by quite a lot, but last year was a record-breaking year. It's not realistic to think that we're going to have a record-breaking year for sales every year. Also in 2022, somewhere around 100,000 people moved to Alberta, and a huge portion of those moved to Calgary. And a lot of those were buyers from Ontario and BC. Most of the people that moved from Alberta or to Alberta were from Ontario. The second highest amount of people were from BC. And of course, what are they doing? They're selling their very expensive properties they have there and then coming to Calgary and in many cases paying cash for these properties, even if they had a mortgage on their, $1.5 million home, which just kind of gets you an average home in Vancouver or Toronto, or even more like 1.8 million. If they bought it, like say 5 years ago, they would have a lot of equity because the market really went crazy and went up a lot there the last couple of years, even though it's come down a bit in the last 6 or 8 months. And still, regardless, what they've done is, sold those properties there, and they're coming here and paying cash. So when you get in a competing offer situation, if you're a native Calgarian and you're already living here, whether you're in the market or you're a first-time buyer, you do need to know you're competing against these buyers from Ontario and BC and other places too, that might have a lot of cash, and they can sell their property there, even if they had a mortgage, like I was just saying, and then take the equity, which is going to be several $100,000, and just pay cash for a property here. Even if they can't get a job in the same business as they were in back home, as long as they don't have a big monthly mortgage payment, they can kind of just get a job doing anything, at least to get the dust settled, until the dust settles, as they get used to living in Calgary. And, they don't have a mortgage. So you buyers out there, whether you own and are buying or you're a first-time buyer, you are competing against some pretty strong buyers out there, and you really need to make sure you're getting yourself set up for success with taking the right steps in order to get your pre-approvals in place and being able to make a competitive offer. Let's take a look at this one. Could Canada's housing market heat up again? And yeah, that's the reality of the situation within the market. Is Calgary an affordable place to live? It is, and it just really depends on what your idea of affordable is. If you live in Calgary, you're born in Calgary, I definitely hear people talking about the rents have gone through the roof in the last year. They've gone up 20% or more, 25% in some cases. And if you were already living here, you're not used to that type of an increase, which is an insane increase in 1 year, but the rental market is extremely hot and extremely tight in Calgary right now, just like the housing market is. You might not think it's an affordable place to live. However, as I mentioned, 100,000 people or so moved to Alberta in 2022. Well, they didn't come here because they think it's an expensive place to live. And keep in mind, there's a lot of places in the world where people are moving here from, whether it's within Canada or not, where it's much more expensive to live than it is in Calgary. And so it is an affordable place to live. In Calgary, the debt servicing ratio, which is the amount of debt you have versus your income. Basically, in Calgary, most people that buy a home are still spending only, let's just call it for easy math, around a third of their total household income on their housing needs, whereas in Vancouver and Toronto, people spend way over half of their monthly household income on just servicing their mortgage and the related costs to owning that real estate. So yeah, it is an affordable place to live, especially when you compare it to the big cities in Canada or even the more expensive cities globally. Here's an interesting article that I found. Renters in Calgary and Edmonton pay more for housing than the homeowners do. So that's kind of a good indicator to all of you guys as to what's going on in the market. Anyways, guys, that's it. I don't want to go on too long. The market is doing very, very well in Calgary. Excellent, as a matter of fact. We really need more listings, though. So if you're thinking of listing your property, please contact me. I would love to chat with you about getting your property on the market. And let's go ahead and make this the best year for yourselves and get you into a new property in 2023. Thanks, everybody. Take care.